Assalamu alaikum everybody.
Walaikum salam.
Today we'll be listening to the story of Nuh alayhi salam. So a long time ago there lived a very good man and his name was Prophet Nuh alayhi salam. He loved Allah and Allah very much loved him. The Prophet Nuh alayhi salam lived in a village and there were many people living in the same village. But most of them did not love Allah and they did not believe in Allah and they did not pray to Allah and they weren't grateful to Allah. But Nuh alayhi salam was a very, very patient man and every day he would go from his house and he would talk to everybody and talk to them with kindness and with love. But they didn't want to listen and they just laughed and mocked Nuh alayhi salam. This made Nuh alayhi salam very sad. In the end, Nuh alayhi salam prayed and prayed and prayed to Allah and said, Ya Allah, please save the believers and let's get rid of all of these evil people. Allah wanted to cleanse the world so that there wouldn't be any more bad and evil in the world. And Allah sent a flood. But he wanted to save Nuh alayhi salam and the people who listened to Nuh. And Allah told Nuh to build a large boat, an ark. Soon the boat was ready. And the next day it started to rain. It looked as if the rain was never going to stop. The village was getting flooded and Nuh alayhi salam put up a ladder and climbed into the boat together with all of the believers and all of the good people that wanted to go along with him. And after that climbed in all the animals. And all the animals went in 2 by 2. They went in pairs. There were goats, sheep, horses, elephants and many others. There were pairs of birds that sat on the deck of the boats. There were hens clucking away, ducks, sparrows, eagles, creatures of every kind. And soon everybody was safe on this big boat. And then there were people that just did not want to come with Nuh alayhi salam and they mocked him and they laughed at him and they did not want to come in the boat. They said, we're not scared of the rain and we're not scared of Allah either. Then there was water everywhere as the rain fell and fell and fell. Even the highest of mountains were covered with water. The boat with its passengers was carried by the huge waves. It rolled to and fro and everybody was afraid. But they trusted Allah and they knew that Allah was watching over them. Suddenly, the rains stopped. The clouds moved away and the sun began to shine so brightly. The water started to dry up and the Prophet Nuh's boat hit a dry mountain top and stayed there. Nuh alayhi salam saw the beautiful dry land. He told his people, come on, come down. And they left the boat and the animals followed by and they were happy and they were like, Shukr alhamdulillah for keeping us safe. And thanks to Allah, Allah took care of his prophets and Allah made the flood and the ark of Nuh alayhi salam a beautiful sign and a reminder of putting your trust in Allah. How great was that story? Have you guys got any favourite animal stories?
This.
You've got this one. Let's have a look. Oh, the ant and the pigeon. So, a long time ago, there lived a pigeon on a tree next to a stream. But he had no friends. So he often felt really lonely. And at such times, he would just wish that he had a friend to play with and a friend to talk to. So one day, the pigeon was sitting on a branch of the tree and looking around. Just then, he saw a small ant near the bank of the stream. Perhaps the ant was trying to drink water. But suddenly, the wind blew and the ant fell into the stream. Now, the pigeon began to watch very, very closely. And he saw that the ant was struggling, and it was very, 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 very hard for him to swim. And each time he moved a little towards the bank, the water would push him back again. And this happened many times, but the ant didn't give up. After some time, the pigeon sensed that the ant was actually exhausted with all of this struggle. So the pigeon now began to think of a way to help the ant. He looked around at himself, and suddenly he had an idea. He plucked a leaf from the tree and flew it into the stream. And he quickly put the leaf next to her, and she gratefully jumped on top of it. And in a short time, she reached the bank on this floating leaf. Thanking the pigeon for his timely help, the ant promised to repay his debt sometime in the future and said, "Do you know what? I'll always be there for you." Then she added, "I live in a hole near that tree, and today you have helped me, and I would like to be friends with you. Would you like to be my friend?" Oh, the pigeon always wanted a friend, so he agreed to be the ant's friend. Now, the two friends would sit together and just talk for hours and hours. They would tell each other about the new places they had visited. They would share with each other all their joys and all their sorrows. They would even keep a watch over each other's houses when they were not around. And their days passed so happily and so peacefully. One day, the ant was resting in the sun, and the pigeon had gone on his daily trip to get his food. But just then, the ant saw a hunter. He was standing some distance near the pigeon's nest with the intent and gazing at the pigeon's nest. The ant quickly sensed the danger. She decided to inform her friend about the hunter and advise him. After some time, the ant saw the pigeon flying back home. She got up to talk to him. As she did so, she saw the hunter standing behind a rock. He was taking aim to shoot an arrow at the pigeon. Realizing that there was no time to warn him, she decided to act. The ant immediately began to run really fast towards the hunter. She reached him just as he was about to shoot the arrow. She quickly got on his foot and stung him. The hunter jumped up high in the sky, startled and frightened due to the pain, and the arrow missed the pigeon. The pigeon saw the arrow passing by him as it flew by him really quickly. And in this way, the ant was able to keep her promise and help save the pigeon, her best friend for life. That was a great story, wasn't it? Thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Assalamu alaikum.